got to go back to the status we were in. We don't understand where we've fallen from. We're not fallen angels, we're fallen gods. But you're not the creator. We're hoping for creation. Hand to the back if I can. Yes, sir.
Do you have a reference book or list of books that you would recommend as most important for?
No. I have reference books and I've read, and I thank many of those authors and their bibliographies for helping me. I've read so much for so long that I don't even remember the books anymore. Oh man, I've been here doing this a long time. Probably Professor Hilton Hartima, his Fatima folios, the books of metaphysics. There's only ones now I would even read. Metaphysical literature. Meta means above. Physics means science, if you're going by the Greeks. And above science, and explanatory science, where the stupid physics came from. I say stupid because they tell you object one set in motion tends to stay in motion. No two things can occupy the same space at the same time. You got 12 things occupying the same space right now. Some of you are beginning to see just on the first 3. We're dumb, we're down, we're on a planet that has got to ascend, and then we can understand what it is to be gods again. But you got to bring the planet up. You are the angels, you are the gods, you're not the creator. Not a lesson learned hard, and I hope we're learning it. Yes?
What can you do for a person who's had a so-called nervous breakdown and you take them to the hospital, they want to put them on like Hell Dog medication like that would make them more severe, and you want to try to bring them back to work?
Same thing that the sister there asked, and I didn't answer it completely. I'm sorry for wandering in consciousness. You give them natural things. The more natural, the better the heals. Melanin cannot take a drug. Your pineal gland cannot take drugs. When you put drugs into when you put pharmaceutical drugs, not nutraceutical drugs, into your system, it causes an incrustation or a calcification of your pineal gland. When that happens, you lose your soul. You can't commune with your soul. And from that time on, you're dying. You're living a living death because you're not chemical man. You are a person who creates hormones and has glands. The glands are underlined by the chakras, the wheels of life. The spinning vortices it was when the angels came here. You were the angels. Now you've got to dig down under that. You must first heal the soul, the chakras, before you can do anything physical. That's why there are instantaneous healings when people give you the energy, but as soon as they take it from you, you can't stand on your own, you revert back. That's why the church has gotten so strong on automatic healing, because all that mind is being given to you, but your chakras can't hold it, therefore the healing can't stay. You got to heal yourself by being not ignorant but wise. Wisdom, Wiccas. I say Wiccas, that means wit. Understand, the witch doctor was a medicine man, was a Orisa man who understood what was happening, knew the herbals, and that's who you crowned. And you paid him when you were well. So you never got sick, because he didn't get any money. Now when do you pay him? And they know nothing about herbals, they're chemicals. Fifth, 6th row back hand, if you're in. Yes?
I have heard you say WHPR, and it fascinated me, and then I went out of range and I couldn't get all of it. So I wanted you to explain a little bit more about how you said that there was the image of a black female on the surface of the planet Mars, and that made me wonder, were the people who used to inhabit Mars, were they black?
Yes,
and
still are.
And what happened? Ooh, please tell us what's going on. What's really going on?
Masa, as it was called, which we now unfortunately call Mars. Names don't mean anything if you understand that, the wisdom behind the name. There was a planet which produced what is called triskaidekaphobia, the fear of the number 13. And we had a 13th unbalanced planet. It was known then that since we had 13, something was going to happen. That 13th planet, which is now called Nebharu, was a planet at that time that had an offspring. They called it Marduk, and the moon was Malona. They had a war on Marduk and Malona. People who live on moons are no good. They are low electrical caste. Sun systems are for the chosen, if you would. They battled, and they destroyed each other. The prophets, if you would, on Mars knew this was going to happen. Every planet under the sun is inhabited. It just has a vibration of life that you're not used to understanding, because the teachers now have no wisdom. You're reading their books, his story. When that happened, it blew up and caused all the waters on Marduk and Malona and all the soil on Marduk and Malona to come through our solar system. It did damage to all the inner planets and some of the outer planets. It sheared off the top of Mars. But the Martian prophets understood it was happening and warned the people. Many of them took off and went to Sirius, where they had come from. Others went to Andromeda. Other places, they went to many places. I won't go into all this. That's a whole history that in itself becomes a fairy tale. When I was getting tonight, it's hard enough. When this came through, you then had all the waters from Marduk and Malona, all the waters from Mars, and so it inundated Venus and set up this canopy of water, because when you have at least water, you have magnetism, you can live longer. Moisturized rather than just drying you out. It gave you both what you needed. But at that time, the earth did not have salt water. It was all fresh water, the natural water of the earth. This came from Marduk, Malona, and part of Mars. That's why you then begin to get salt water and the sea creatures like sharks and killer things that go on low vibrating planets. Should not even be here. They could then incubate and grow here. The sea serpents were then born here. Everything came here from these other planets. Life forms that never were now existing, not too well together, but nevertheless here. When the Martian foretellers saw this, they said we had to do something to balance it, so they put up 2 orbiting satellites, Phobos and Deimos. One one's counter, the other one's centrifugal, the other one's centrifugal, and they balanced the planet still. They were then, the life forms transferred to that. The rest of the Martians went inside the Earth. Earth is in common names, Terra. We're in a kind of terra firma, a planet such as it has terra and has soil, and that's where they still live. Because of the radiation field that was created around the atmosphere of Mars, they have to go inside. All intelligent life forms live inside a planet.
Okay, we hear you.
The only life form that can live outside a planet is one with melanin. It has magnesium, phosphorus, manganese, and magnetite. Therefore, you can take the sun and the moon, and still some kind of way stay sane. Without that, you can't. You have to shield yourself from it. You are the strongest physicals, and some of the most lost mentally.
Yes,
Recuperate. And I'm not talking defaming you, because I had to learn. I'm still learning. That's why when you ask me about books, I can tell you what books. I read so many books, I stayed up at nights. When I had to renounce my Christianity and my baptism as a Baptist minister, I went through 13 months of hell. And I said, it's truth, and I'm not going to be a hypocrite. They didn't teach me right. And I went back and I said, the very things I asked you. You were too dumb to know, or you didn't know, therefore do not teach me any longer. And don't teach others. Don't teach what you don't know. Because children respect you. When they lose respect for you, you've lost a whole generation.
Yes.